What's Up, Whittier?
Welcome to What's Up, Whittier, a homegrown podcast.
A podcast to showcase Whittier's businesses, personalities, and hidden treasures.
Hey guys, producer Christine here with this week's Community Corkboard announcements. Every Friday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. we have the Uptown Whittier Farmers Market, presented by the Whittier Uptown Association. Every Friday, again, from 8 a.m. to 1 on the corner of Philadelphia and Bright Avenue. If you are interested in becoming a vendor, email farmersmarket@whittieruptown.org. Are you interested in antiquing or checking out some craft art? Well, lucky for you, the Whittier Uptown Association is putting together their annual Art and Antique Street Fair. This is taking place on Saturday, April 6th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. in Uptown Whittier on Philadelphia Street. So check it out if you are interested in becoming a vendor. Email info@whittieruptown.org. This Friday, February 8th at 5:30 p.m., join Whittier Seroptimus International for their Aloha Cruise fundraiser. This is their annual fundraiser, and it will be taking place at the Doubletree Hilton Whittier at 7320 Greenleaf Avenue. I think you can still buy tickets. You can head to www.siwhittier.org. So they did talk about it in our last podcast episode, but I just kind of want to remind you what, your contributions to this fundraiser, to this wonderful event, Seroptimus, it's best for women, what they contribute to. So there's their Dream It, Be It campaign. So that campaign delivers specific curriculum to a selected group of high school students to provide tools to help them become confident and prepared for career goals. Most of the time, if you're a first-generation college student especially, it's a little difficult. You don't really know how to navigate that process. So to have a helpful hand is, I'm sure, great, and it does help, young women to become more confident when they go to college. The next is Live Your Dream campaign. Seroptimus doesn't only help, young women that are in high school, but also women who are living their lives. So this is a luncheon that honors selected women who are heads of their household, most, single moms and in need of education to improve their job status and rebuild their lives. So, that's also a really great opportunity. Again, they just help women of all ages. It's a really great organization. And also there's so many more events, but those are two of the main, campaigns that they do, and I just really appreciate Seroptimus, and if you're interested, go to siwhittier.org to contribute today. Quartermania. What is Quartermania, you ask? It's a cross between an auction, a raffle, and bingo, with each bid between 1 to 4 quarters only. Win prizes for as little as 1 quarter. I share a really funny story in this episode about, well, not funny, I don't know. I just shared a really great experience where I won some nail stickers. It's cool. So how does it work? Each vendor has boutiques set up with items for sale. Each vendor also donates items to the Quartermania bidding. So there will be over 60 items, which is really exciting. What vendors will be there? Lilac leaf handbags, paparazzi jewelry, steeped tea, damsel in defense, Avon, Scentsy, Simply scarves, and so much more. Will there be food at the event? Yes, the original Roadhouse restaurant will have their full menu available. It is a no-host menu, so, go right on ahead. Can I buy tickets in person? Yes, you can purchase tickets at the door for $15. There are $10 pre-sale tickets available at Scale Collectibles, which we'll talk about in the episode, 7702 Greenleaf Avenue. Or you can go to their Eventbrite link. I will post that in the bio for more information. So again, that's this Saturday, February 9th from 12:30 p.m. to 4 p.m., which is going to be benefiting Bridge of Faith, which is the wonderful organization we're going to talk about today. On Wednesday, February 13th from 5 to 9 p.m., join the Friends of Uptown Whittier for their monthly art stroll. The Valentine art stroll to be specific, and it'll be held inside Sage at 6511 Greenleaf Avenue, Uptown Whittier. It's a great opportunity to take your hot date, go out on, I keep saying this, and I'm telling you, if Uptown is packed, because I keep saying this, that's cool. If it's not, then you are very lucky that you went out, the day before Valentine's Day when it's not packed. So, February 13th, you can go out, it's a Wednesday, Wine Wednesday, La Pescadora, $5 for a glass of wine. You can start there. You can walk up to Sage, and walk around, check out the wonderful art there, and, get something for your loved one. It'll be really cute, adorable, enjoying local entertainment that's going on around town, and overall, a really great night. And, if you're single, then grab your girlfriends. It's also Galentine's Day, and do the exact same thing. Go get some sangria at La Pescadora, and then go walk around, and enjoy the art stroll. Homeowners, did you know as of January 2017, you can now add a second unit on your property? You can rent the smaller second unit while you live in your primary home. When you outgrow your primary home, rent out the home and move into the smaller second unit. We have 2 upcoming workshops on second units for J2 Architects that will take place on Saturday, February 16th and March 2nd at 9 a.m. So if you wanted to drop on by, call or text 562-522-0056 to RSVP and to receive the address. Looks like that's all I have for you guys this week. If you would like some more information, please visit our website, whatsupwhittier.com. You can also check out our Facebook and our Instagram at whatsupwhittier. We have a Twitter at whatsup562. Follow our hashtag, whatsupwhittier. Also, you can email us at communitycorkboard@whatsupwhittier.com if you would like us to mention anything in the Community Cork Board. If you'd like to follow Remo the Realtor, visit his Facebook and Instagram and website, all Remo the Realtor. Great. On brand, going for it. So, next up we have Jessie the Architect. You can follow him, Facebook, Instagram, website, J2 Architects. And you can follow me, producer Christine. I'm at the Singing Moon on Instagram. I don't know, they're just links below. If you're interested, go for it. If not, let me know. If you need a notary, let me know. I do that too. Alright, like I said before, our guest today is Bridge of Faith, so without further ado, take it away, Jessie and Remo.
What's up, Whittier?
Dun, 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 dun.
Man, I'm so happy that we're done with some rain.
You don't miss the rain? I agree.
Yeah.
It's not horrible, but we have a couple projects going on, and the rain just doesn't help anything.
I mean, it's good. I love that it rains, but when you're trying to walk around with a bunch of plans in hand and with all this water, it's not looking good, man.
So you don't stay home all day, Jesse, and
I wish.
Hang out with the kids?
I wish, man. I wish. But today, like every other week or every week, it seems like so far,
we have some special guests.
That's right. Who do we have?
Go ahead, Jesse. It's always a running joke. Jesse always tries to set me up, and
I stumped them. Today.
I got the names.
Well, first off, we're at a different location. We're not at the office recording. We're actually off-site. We're off-site recording at Upscale Collectibles here in Whittier. And we're here with Carol Reza. Did I see that right?
Yes, you did.
And Anna Romero.
Yep. Hi.
All right. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, obviously, we're here at Upscale Collectibles, but we're here to talk about, I think, of a different organization that you guys are part of. Before we go in there or go into that, can you guys introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about you and what you do?
Sure. I'm Anna. I have been volunteering with Bridge of Faith for about 10 years. I started when I was going to Whittier College, so I'm a poet. And I just started one summer and really haven't stopped since. I majored in business and economics, and now I work at a purchasing department for a merchant in Santa Fe Springs. And in my free time, I like to catch up on my favorite shows. Right now I'm watching This Is Us. I love paper. I'll curate all the invitations I can for Carol and Bridge of Faith, and any event I can, I'll do the marketing material. And that's one of my hobbies, paper. And then baking. And so sometimes the girls and Carol get all my buttercream frosting, and they ask me for more. That's how I keep busy.
Is there any here?
I really should have. I shouldn't speak cupcakes and not bring any. That's not really fair.
Jesse brought coffee for himself only. So.
No, see, I was anticipating there was going to be some baked goods. See, you didn't get the message.
Next time.
There
Next
you
time
go.
then, yeah.
And actually, for our listeners out there, you hear the fire trucks kind of running through Upscale. The boutique or the shop that is actually across the street from the fire station across on Greenleaf. So
that might be a couple times we're going to hear that.
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Carol.
Hi.
Hi.
And I'm Carol Reza, and I'm the founder and the director of Bridge of Faith. And It was a God venture. I had no idea what I was going to do. I mean, I thought I was living happy and I was okay and doing my own thing and prospering, and all of a sudden my whole direction changed. And I formed Bridge of Faith, and we have 3 homes in Whittier for girls that have been in foster care, but we're not a transitional. The thing that I found out when I was doing the research was everyone was saying, after foster care, what? And there wasn't enough beds at the time in the county. There were only 750 beds when I started researching, and there were over 2,000 kids being released every year. So I saw a need and started researching and sort of came across this big, huge house with 26 rooms, and I thought, that might be a place. Yes, it's 3 stories. And so I thought that might work. And so as you start something, and I know each of the women on our board, they said, I'll do a room. But we never realized really what that meant and how many rooms there were. And then I wondered, well, who's going to come? How do they know? And we were in the front page of the newspaper announcing the opening of the home, and someone came to the door, and it was like Field of the Dreams moment. And you just build it, and they'll come. And they have been coming, and the home opened in 2003, and they still come. And so we have 2 homes for moms with kids, because the fact is that we want to keep them out of foster care if they're at risk. And we're the only one in the nation to have no time limit or age limit. So we've actually had 4 women get married that was at the home. Wow. So, and I birthed babies. I did a funeral for biological parents. I mean, we're just there.
We're family.
Yeah, an extension of the family.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And I remember my first day there, like 19, I think. First internship ever. And I come in and I'm filing, and I'm like, man, I'm getting hungry. And Carol is like, hey, are you hungry? Let's make lunch. I was volunteering at the home, like the office is at the home. So like we went to a real kitchen, a real home, and like she made me lunch. And I was like, wow, like this wouldn't have been anywhere else had I, interned anywhere else. Like you're on your own, leave for half hour. Good luck. We'll see you in half an hour. No, so like from the get-go, I knew it was a home environment, and I felt it. And I think if you ever go into our home, or I think speak with our girls, you'll feel it too.
So Bridge of Faith is a nonprofit, or is
it's a 501c3. It's a nonprofit.
It's a nonprofit, and it's here in Whittier?
Yes.
And does it house just women of Whittier, or?
Well, I could say just women, except when it's a mom and she has children. Female, yeah. So we have 4 male children too at this time.
And that's again, it's run by you guys. I guess tell us a little bit of how Upscale is it collectibles?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. How those 2 intertwine, and then also explain to us what is Upscale Collectibles for those that don't know.
Sure.
And I'll say this from speaking from my end, I drive up and down Greenleaf, and it's rare that I turn over and see.
I see it all the time, Jessie. I don't know what you know. I'm just kidding.
Well, now he's going to start shopping for us. So.
No, this is my first time here.
Well, the way it began, when I first started everything, I started with a women's group, and that fast moved me to working within the juvenile system. And I would do groups in different places, from San Diego to Rubidoux, basically. And then what I saw there is that the girls were going to maybe leave their kids in foster care when they were released from jail. And I'm thinking, how can they do that? And so got really close to a few of the girls, and I said, I'll help you. You have to stand up for your kids and not have them repeat your life. And because we saw that it was a cycle, usually 3-4 generations had all been in foster care. So we helped one girl specifically. She got her rental. We loaded up a truck so that she would have stuff, to fill her rental. And I started collecting things at home, and then that was in the garage, and then they were in my house. And so I said, we need a store. And within a week or 2, we had a store. So the store has always been the fundraising arm of anything we've done. So it brings, the issues to the community because they don't know I think Dobson did a survey one time and said, what do you think of foster kids? What are they? How do they end up in foster care? And a huge percentage said they were juvenile delinquents, and that's further from the truth. Someone else has done the crime. They do the time. So we just continue to be in the trenches, and being here helps to spread the word and helps us to raise our funds, too.
So we're here on the corner of Greenleaf and Walnut.
Correct.
Yeah. Can you explain what the store has and how big the store is? Because we got a tour and we kept going in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of room. So for starters, it's like 5,000 square feet.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's bright yellow, so if you ever drive down Greenleaf or Walnut, you'll see because it's bam yellow in your face. Mm-hmm. And we have so much stuff. Like, so many people like, oh, yeah, I came in, it was so cute. I'm like, did you go in the back? They're like, there's a back? Oh, and it's a side. And, like, there's everything. So we have a lot of furniture and collectibles. We have clothing, majority women's clothing, and a small selection of men's clothing. We have stuff for children's, toys, clothes for them. We have books. We have shoes, accessories, jewelry. Basically, if you wear it or if it's in your house, it's been donated here. Yeah. Small appliances. Probably the one thing we don't have are large appliances. But if you want to donate one, let us know because we'll know someone who needs one. So just because you donate and drop it off at our store doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go out for sale. Sometimes we just reserve it, knowing like this is a really good item. We'll need it for someone at our home, or we need it for someone who is reuniting with their children in the process, or etc., or someone who's just looking for a job.
Do you guys ever get a piece and say, "Well, I want this for my own home"?
Well, I mean, I do, and then I buy it. I'm like, "Girl, how much is this? It just came in." I'm like, "Take my money," and I'll happily give it to her. And then some of the pieces, we once got a really nice yellow couch. Remember that?
Oh yes.
And we put it in our home, so we let the girls enjoy that one. It was a beautiful piece, and we've had a lot of Christmases there, and I've sat on it with them, and it's been good to us.
I love the name, by the way. Upscale. Just adding upscale to it. Because you're essentially doing that in two different forms, right? One is you're taking something and you're kind of recycling to a consumer who's looking to buy it. But also, like you just mentioned right now you're taking it and making a use for even your organization where they would make use of it.
Yeah.
And I don't, again, driving by it, I would never have thought that there was something like behind that other than, again, just being a collectibles place where you can pick up antique stuff. But when there's that message behind it and how it's being worked, I mean, it's just, I wish you could almost put that whole story up on the front of the store.
Yeah.
Like a big sign that says, every time you buy something, it goes here, or if you donate it, it goes here.
If you can give us that in like 15 words, we'll do it. It's
right,
just so much.
Get to it. Jesse's a professional tagger, and so he can, on the side of your wall.
Maybe we'll just put the link of this podcast on
there
the
you
side
go.
of the wall.
That's beautiful. I mean, because again, you don't see that often,
Right.
And again, we're just touring the space. You have a lot of cool pieces that that could go in different directions. I mean, one is just utilitarian, right? Mm-hmm. The other one is a collectible that somebody's actually going to feature in their home.
Right.
So that's awesome. Yeah. So in terms of the houses that you guys were talking about, like, are those actual houses that people live in? Or
Yes, they're physical houses. So our big house, you can see it. It's on the corner of Mulberry and Gunn. Mulberry turns into Slauson. So it's like this big Victorian mustard yellow house. It's beautiful.
I know exactly what it is. It's three stories, and it has attic windows as well.
That's right.
So that's ours. So yeah.
So producer Christine chiming in. I shared with Carol that I actually went to Mulberry Elementary, which is right across the street from there. And, people would always say, like, oh, yeah, that's like a place where people would live. And they had, I don't know if you guys had a sign at the time, but you had a TV show that went to there.
Clean Sweep was there.
The TV show from, I think, TLC. And so I'd always been very curious, so it's kind of full circle that now you're on the podcast, and thank you so much for being on and contributing to the community. Thank you.
Thanks.
And go
ahead.
No, I was going to say, it's funny you say that because I'm an architect, so I drive past that house. And for me, when I see something or a home or a building, I start creating these ideas of, like, specifically that home. It has, like, a nice little window way at the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like, man, how much fun would it be to be in that attic or have that room at the top, you know? And
Yeah.
I'm thinking as a kid, like, just, nice little hideaway. But now that I know what it's used for, it's like, man, that's even kind of cool because it is a big house.
Yeah.
Huge.
I mean, it's
huge.
It's,
It's huge.
How many residents would you hold in that?
6.
6.
And then we have a couple of guest rooms, because some of the girls come back, or if we're doing a special event, like we just took the kids to Universal Studios, so some of the girls that have moved on, they still come back and spend the night or the holidays.
Yeah. So we're family in every sense.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and you never graduate from Bridge of Faith. At some point, you may move away because a job takes you there, or you think you're at a place of your life where you want to go into a different chapter and you move on in a healthy manner. But you don't graduate. You're family, and you're invited to Christmas dinner the next year, and you're invited to Easter. And if Carol has an extra ticket to see a play, she'll call you if she knows that you like the play. So it's never, there's never an end. It's always continuing.
You're in forever.
You're in forever.
That's it. You're in for
Basically.
lifers.
That's right. Oh, man. And so, Bridge of Faith, where does that name come from?
I used to do a Bible study, and whenever I'd see a breakthrough with a girl, I just put my hand across, and then she, the person would reach for it, and it just was like a bridge. It just came about, and it's a bridge of faith. It's trust, because the main thing that you have to do in the home is gain trust. For one girl, it took me over a year. She wouldn't even eat my food or anything, because they've been really damaged, a lot of them, and just life hasn't been real fair, so they're afraid of big folks.
Yeah. We our key is stability and safety.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have those things, you can't grow as a person, and they need to grow.
Especially if you talk about kids. I mean, they're probably the ones that need more of a stable home.
Absolutely.
Just because of where they're at in their life, right? Or that stage of life. And you're right. In terms of like repeating or going through that cycle, I mean, you got to break it at some point. And being at that age, at a young age, makes more sense than being as an adult. Because as an adult, you already have your bad habits, right? You're like, it's kind of hard to get away from certain things. But I mean, I want to dig into a little bit more. Like, I know you kind of talked about how Bridge of Faith somewhat started, but is there like a true root to Bridge of Faith? Like, you woke up one day and say, you know what, like, this is what I really need to do. Like, I'm driven for that.
No, I think it was a daily thing with just being bombarded with thoughts from God. It's like, He had me writing, and I was writing these things and not knowing why. And like VIP it's sort of what I've always worked off of, and it's what people need is value, importance, and purpose. They have to have it. And so things would just stick in my mind. And it wasn't my plan. Nothing was my plan. And then as I would meet someone or I'd get invited somewhere, and I would, they called me in to mentor with foster girls. And then I saw what they're going through. And then I just kept building off of that, and then knowing. And even when we decided to have a home, I knew there was an acronym, HOME, H-O-M-E. So I picked up a dictionary and I start looking H. I go, oh my God. And then I went to O. I'm never going to figure this out. And then one of the board members was over, and she said, did you ever figure out home? And out of my mouth just comes, home opportunity meets emancipation. So I'm pointing at myself and telling her to write. And that's how things were. It just all happened. And I just went along. I made a commitment to go along. And I didn't realize till when we had the home, which was in 2003, I was in there, I was with the girls, and I was just praying and thanking God for the day after all the workers went home. And then he said, well, you're one of those girls. And I go like, no, I'm not. And I just was stunned. And he said, yes, you are. So I didn't know I was doing it because I had been, not in foster care, it didn't exist. I went to an orphanage and then I lived with people. So I didn't meet my own mother till I was 9 years old.
Wow.
So I knew that why he led me to do this was because I understood what you go through emotionally, and the emptiness and the helpless and hopelessness that you go through when you're in those situations.
And when you're saying it wasn't the worker, it was
God.
Okay.
It's only one he in my life.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was definitely, just ordained, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
And since then, how many girls or women has the organization has helped? Is there a number that
I know at one time, it was about 5 years into it. I counted about 7,500 because I was doing groups every night and doing different things, and then study, and then the girls coming, and even people coming through here that we work with. And the store isn't just a store; it's a drop-in center. We help the homeless, we help people that are in need, people that are drunk on the corner fighting. It doesn't matter. We're here to help whoever we can.
Good. And I know we have Anna and someone else that's here. Are people here voluntarily, or are they paid, or are they a little of both?
A little of both. I have two employees. They split the day in their hours, and then I have an intern here today. Okay. And I have actually 3 interns from different colleges right now.
Because we saw some other help in the back as well.
Yes, and they're from work rehabilitation. I can't even say it. They're retraining for their job because they've been injured on their job. So their employers pay them to come and help us.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good gig.
It is really good for us because we have so much to do here on a daily basis.
That's a lot of people for one organization. But if you think about the overall work you guys are doing, that's a small team.
It is.
Right?
It is, yes.
I mean, it's... I'm surprised you didn't start naming off, 20 more people, because it's 7,500, you said?
Mm-hmm. Over the years.
Over the year. I mean,
we stopped counting because, I would do groups 5 nights a week. So
I only have 3 at home, people. 2 kids and a wife, and it's just, that's a lot of work. So trying to imagine all that. You also said you do dinner or food. Is that something that you do on a daily basis, or or every kind of home takes care of themselves? Is it a small community, or? Well,
there's 3 homes, and then 2 of the homes have mothers with children, so they take care of themselves. Okay. They learn, and I get involved, of course. And then the main home, in the beginning, I used to make dinner every night because everyone that was there was 16 and up. And so now, actually, I have older kids, or older girls. Everybody's younger than me, so... and I have a girl that came back now, and she's, I don't even know, she must be late 30s, but she was with me, been gone, 6 years or so. And she is coming back home because she wants to get her master's. And she got a job in town doing counseling and wants to go and get her master's degree. So come home.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many of those families or children that you've helped have come back and actually participated in the overall organization or group?
They haven't participated in a sense of working, but I had just someone come last week, a couple that I knew years ago, and they came, probably about 5 years ago and stopped in, and they go, "Hi, we heard you were doing this." And so a week later, I'm walking from the back to the front, and this girl is walking down the hallway. And she goes, "Are you Carol?" And I said, "Yes." And she goes, "Do you recognize me?" And I said, "No." She goes, "Well, I'm Rito and Patty's daughter." Well, she was in the womb when I last saw her. So, still people that are in touch. Matter of fact, I'm taking in a young lady with a child in another month and a half, and there are people in the community that I knew also when she was young. Wow. And we've taken in several that I've known. Actually, at our first store, they used to come over and play at the store every day after school, and I've taken in 2 of those kids from that. So it just keeps coming somehow.
How long have you guys been in this physical location?
I think about 15 years or so.
So the little ones remember this as also somewhat home. I take
Oh,
it?
yeah. Yeah. And the girls come in. You asked about the merchandise and stuff. Whatever comes in, we're first. If we need it, it goes to us at the homes. And if someone's leaving, we always fill up a truck. They're welcome to take anything in their room, but anything else that they need, they take if we have it. And we do this for a lot of people, not just our own girls. But and then they come in, and I become the specialized shopper. I'm always taking certain things home for the girls because I know they'll like it, and they shop here. And that's when you know, because in the beginning we give, and later they come in and say, no, we're paying. So we know they're learning the right things.
Yeah. Wow. And in terms of like the like having them be part of your organization, or kind of get the what you guys offer, the services you guys offer, how do they go about? Like, do they reach out to you? You reach out to them, or is it a little bit of both?
A lot are from referrals from DCFS, right?
Mm-hmm.
Department of Children and Family Services. And a lot of people just know us. They'll just call Carol like, hey, I have this girl in high school, and she'll give us her details, and we set up a phone call. And unfortunately, lately we've been getting calls about high school girls too. So we're kind of seeing a trend in Whittier.
They're homeless in high school.
It's really, it's sad. So
just the child, or just the girl, or
the girl, in the senior in high school, and she's homeless. And their families just say, "Well, go on and get your life. We've done enough for you," and they're moving away or whatever. But we've gotten that probably 6 years at least. We've gotten kids from high school. Principals will call, pastors, people in the community, probation officers, the police. Will you please take care of this family? They're, going in witness protection. Whatever it is, we're here to help.
Do you guys have a capacity?
No.
Are you close to come on in? And
There's times we've had 3 people on the floor just because we felt we needed to do that at that time. But, can't do that all the time.
Yeah.
It's important to note that there is one girl, unless they have children, there's one girl per room. It's really important for us, for our residents, to feel like they have some sort of ownership. We want to provide the safety and the stability, and that includes having your personal space. And we do respect that. So we do furnish an entire room for them, and it's for them alone.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, like, if you're a child, you might get away with having 2 or 3 kids in one room, because I grew up that way. But when you start becoming a teenager, you want your own space.
You do,
absolutely.
And even more of you're a female, because you really need your own space. So yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's unfortunate and sad that that's still happening. Do you see that kind of somehow? I mean, I know you guys are working with trying to help with that situation, but are you guys working with anybody or organization trying to reduce that type of
foster kids?
Yeah, not. I mean,
homelessness.
Or both, I guess, right?
Like, need, I guess, for your services,
or just a situation like we get into the whole, like, I know you guys seen the billboards where they say they have a kid who's like in jail, and they got a kid who's like going to school, and it says it costs more to go to jail than it does for school.
Absolutely.
So obviously, there's somebody behind that billboard to try to curtail, that bad behavior.
Send that message. And
so there you go.
Yeah. Like,
is there anything like that that's like, I don't want to say a campaign, but like...
In the past, we have...
I don't even know if there's a situation how to resolve it, but somehow kind of...
It's hard, and I think it's up to everyone in the community. And in the past, we've done something called the Town Hall, where we've invited different organizations from the area, a lot from Whittier, and we just came over and talked about how do we solve the lack of need for our youth in Whittier. And Carol can talk more to that.
Or like human trafficking. We've addressed that.
Specific topics, in certain years, but we've done that in the past.
And I didn't, just about talking about human trafficking, I didn't realize it was big. Like, or not even human, just more like children, right? I didn't realize it was that big until, obviously, our last podcast. That was a discussion that we had too. And even just in social media, now that we're all kind of connected, I'm friends with people who follow that stuff, and they're very active with those kind of organizations. And I'm always questioning, like, are you guys posting the right information? Because that's a lot of kids, you know? I'm like, nope. I mean, just because you don't see it in the news, just because it's not average, conversation, everybody decides to kind of push it off to the side, but it's a real issue. And that's the thing. It's like, how do you get these organizations to kind of help with some of this stuff? But just like you said, it's almost like a whole community effort, right? Because
it has to be.
Absolutely.
It has to be.
Is the problem getting smaller or bigger?
Oh, no.
I think
Larger.
it's getting bigger, yeah. And I think we've all heard LA County, numbers in general. It's just homelessness is going up year after year, and housing is just becoming less affordable, and we're seeing it. Yeah, we're definitely seeing it.
Is there anything that, I guess what Jessie was also saying is, can there be something done with the organization, or maybe you guys are doing it now, where you're helping the current problem, but it's almost like planting the seed for the next decade, in a sense, to be able to reduce the problem? Is there an outreach that happens in that direction as well?
There's different organizations that I'm, involved in, and some are political. And I mean, I've spoke before the assembly here in California, and I think that there's several people that are really powerful, and I always follow them every day in emails and see what's going on. They're passing legislation, and they're extending the time. When I first started, you got out of foster care at 18, so now they support you to 24, and then, but still it's 24. You're leaving, asking to leave again, just like you would have been at 18. So where's your preparation to be on your own? It's still very difficult, because if you don't have a family support, then you're still alone. You might be a little smarter if you've gone to college and educated yourself, but it doesn't mean you're ready. I heard a girl speak at one of the things I went to in Sacramento, and she had gotten many accolades. I mean, she had done great things in college and just degrees, and she stood up there and she said, "Thanks for applauding, but how come I still can't sleep at night?"
Wow.
And that just hit me so hard, because it's not one thing.
Yeah.
It's the whole picture that needs healing.
Yeah.
It's a healing process. So one of the things that I ran across is that when kids are in foster care, they get this transient mentality that sets them up to be homeless. Because, you can come home one day and you're staying in this family's home, but they're saying, oh, well, today your caseworker's coming in and he's going to move you. And they just have to move. Like robots, just move on. And so we try to teach them the stability at home, where they can learn to become part of a family unit. Even though we're not your family, we're here instead. We're here for you. So, I mean, I've gone to graduations, or help someone get a formal dress, or help them get their wedding dress. I mean, the things, teach them how to drive when they're from another country.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. It was a lot of scary times. But, I mean, it's just giving them the stability of, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. One time, actually, it was a newscaster from here. She worked for the newspaper, and she followed me to do a group in LA County Jail. And she said, I took along an inmate that had been with us before. And so she asked her, she said, if you could sum up Carol in one word, what is it? She said, truth. She always will tell me the truth. And she goes, well, what else? Like, always tell me the truth. So that was what stabilized her, is there was no BS. I'm always going to tell you the truth. And there was comfort in that for her. A lot.
Yeah. No, it's big.
Do you guys have any special big events that you maybe do to help maybe fundraise, or?
Now that you mentioned it.
I saw the paper.
There you go.
So we have two major fundraising events. We have the fashion show that we do in March every year, and then we have a summer tea that we do in June every year. And the fashion show is really fun because we get like a new theme every year. Last year was like a literary theme. We encourage our guests to dress up as their favorite characters. Someone came in as Sherlock Holmes, like completely decked out. It was so
good.
fun. And this year we're really excited because we're going to have a Parisian theme. So the theme is I Love Paris. I think Christine earlier saw like an Eiffel Tower hanging around here. We're prepping. So that is happening the first Saturday.
Paris.
The first Saturday of March. It's March 2nd. Tickets are $40, and of course, all proceeds do come back and benefit Bridge of Faith. Doors open at 11, and then we're trying a new fundraiser recently.
So, sorry, before you go next one, where is that event? Where is that?
Oh, it's at the Ritz Gardens, so it's in Whittier. The Ritz Gardens, yeah. It's on, where's that?
First Laughing
First
Well and
Laughing
Amber
Well.
come together.
Yeah, it's in that area.
Next to Toast. That's the
Yes, by Toast.
He knows places by landmarks.
Yes,
and
by eateries. Is what
Yeah,
I know.
By
foodie,
eateries.
foodie.
How many people do you expect at that event, at that fundraiser?
We're hoping for 300.
300.
300. So
Okay.
we want to pack the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll put all this information on our show notes too. So for people who are listening and they're driving, don't worry about getting a pen and paper. It's going to be on the show notes.
Cool.
What's the other event you got?
The other one. So recently we started doing these events called Quarter Mania. And it's really hard to explain, but I'm going to give it my best. So it's a cross between bingo and a raffle and an auction. And you pay your ticket. It's only $10 pre-sale. And when you walk in, you get a raffle ticket. And you get your bingo number. And then throughout the event, like different vendors come together, and they're the ones who organize it for us. And each vendor, one by one, comes up and auctions off something that they're selling and in lieu of auctioning. So to be part of the auction, all you have to do is enter between 1 and 4 quarters. The vendors determine what the ante. What's that card? Ante, right, in poker? Yeah, so what the ante is. And you can put in a quarter, and then they roll their bingo numbers, and if your number is called, you win it for a quarter. So it's really fun. Last time Christine went, and she got some nail wraps.
So the quarter gets you just a number?
The price.
Yeah, okay, so this is how it works. So you pay your $10. I already Venmo'd Anna my $10, so if you guys want to go. So then you get your number, right, like a bingo number. You give it to them, and you have your paddle. So I bought some of these, like, nail stickers, the street style. They're, like, nail polish stickers. They're really cool. And this lady, the same vendor, was raffling off 2 other ones. Well, I can only, like, bet one time, right, because I only have one paddle. Well, the lady next to me was like, oh, well, I don't want this. You can use my paddle if you want. But that means I have to put in twice the bet. So if the vendor says 50 cents, then I have to put in 50 cents. And if I'm going to use the other lady's paddle, I have to put in 50 cents for her paddle. And then they do the numbers. And if they call your number and you did not bet, then they pick another number. And then if they pick your number and you did bet, then you win. Yeah. And that's how you win. That's how you win stuff.
Oh, I got it.
Did I lose you? You went blank.
I'm good at donating.
It's so fun.
It is really fun. It's really fun.
I got lost, but it sounds like fun. Just
No,
trying to
for
figure it out.
It's very fast.
It's kind of addicting. You're like, what? What? Yeah, a quarter.
Well,
and you're
you
just
think
like,
about
ding,
a
ding,
quarter,
ding.
like, yeah, you're right.
Right.
So
It is,
every
yeah.
person has a unique number?
Yes,
Correct.
that's the key.
I was thinking that you get like number 792 and yours has to be pulled. Got it. Okay,
yeah.
now I got
It's
it.
like, it's like in a bingo.
A
thing.
bingo.
So do we need to bring our quarters, or do you guys provide quarters?
You
You can
bring,
get quarters
You
there.
can get quarters, but you can bring your own and like not have to do that hassle. Just get right to bidding as soon as you get there.
Because Remo, he
I
used
have
to
a laundry machine.
He used to
I
like
charge my wife. Water bill's high and we're
he was used to a nickel. So he still has nickel stored in his
right.
in his shoebox. So we'll have to convert those into quarters, my friend.
Yes.
Or you can just put 5 nickels
There
in.
you go. I'm gonna slow the game down. This is way too fast.
Bring a bear.
But it's so neat because you hear the noise in the room get louder and louder because they keep getting so excited
Yeah.
because everybody's winning.
That's awesome.
And how many things are raffled off?
There's
How many
15 vendors, and they all of them do 4 items, and then we do 10 baskets for the end.
Yeah.
So it's a good deal.
It's a
Yeah.
lot of
So
things.
when was the date? And
So this is Quarter Mania is happening this Saturday, February 9th, and it's happening at Roadhouse in Whittier, right by the
Whittier Boulevard.
right there.
So
Yeah.
you can order your own lunch while
Yeah.
you're there.
enjoy a meal, and give us your quarters.
Lots of them.
She looked at Remo. Remo, give us your quarter. Give us your nickels.
I got bills.
Or bills. Yeah.
And the doors open at 12:30.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, it sounds like
Super
fun.
fun.
It is so much fun.
So what else do you guys do for fundraising? Is it just those events?
Those are the two I mentioned are our major events, and then we also have fundraising, like sales at the store.
Okay.
So for Labor Day, for about 2 weeks, we have almost everything is 50% off. And then again, in like the 2 weeks before Christmas, we heavily discount everything again because we get inventory coming up after Christmas, and we don't want to count it, so we want you to take it. So
90% off.
90% off, up to 90% off.
How do people bring stuff? Would you take anything, or does it have? Like,
Well, I made the mistake of thinking that at our previous location, and this man called. He said, "You take anything? Sure, come on over." He pulled up in a pickup truck and started unloading greasy auto parts. So we don't take that.
No used oil filters, huh?
No,
No,
man.
sorry.
I tell people to go online and look because they'll see what we have or come on in.
Yeah.
But people bring amazing things. I think our highest priced item that we sold recently was a yard row for $1,000. They bring nice things.
What was that again?
A yard row, a statue.
Oh, okay.
It was $1,000.
Was his name Remo? Did he have?
I still don't know what a yard row is. Is it an actual statue and that goes in the front of the house, or
No, it's
Like
about
an
the size
indoor?
of that one there, but
So it's
just
a collectible.
collectible.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the furniture you guys have here is pretty cool. So for somebody who's looking for some old, like modern, kind of antique period time furniture, I mean it's a deal. It's a
Yeah.
really
Beautiful
good deal.
things.
We have a writing desk over there that I've been looking at since it got here, but my apartment is too small. So I just want to meet the person who buys it so I can live through them.
Or get their number for when they're
Get their
tired
number.
of using it. They could just
Let me know. I might have a house there.
There's a contingency that you have to go use it at their house. right?
Exactly.
Good
I
for
write
you.
my letters every Sunday. Please let me in.
Oh, that's so funny.
Some of the times when something's leaving, I go, well, we give visitation, right?
That's right.
Now, one thing that I know we were joking around when we came in here, and we says, Jesse, don't knock anything over, or
Yes.
you're going to pay for it. Does that ever happen with some of the collectibles? And have you been in that situation where?
Things have happened. Some people just hide what they break, but a couple of people.
I told you should have showed it.
Well, I'm not mentioning any names, but no. And sometimes someone has come up and said, look, I broke this, I just want to pay for it. People are basically honest and nice.
I think what Remo was trying to say is don't bring my kids.
Yeah.
Well, the kids go in the playroom. Did you guys even see the
Yeah.
kids?
Yeah.
They go in there.
No,
That's the
nothing
babysitter.
breakable there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with Jesse's kids, they're breakable.
We'll buy the whole room.
Tasmanian devils in there.
Yeah, just pay for the room up front. And then just,
Yeah.
And lock them in there.
Watch them by the hour.
that's right. That's right.
And then throughout the year, just people and their great ideas come to us and say, like, we want to help. Well, how can we help? And just through conversations, they've come up with their own personal fundraisers. So I think last fall, someone came and said that the organization Savers is accepting clothing donations, and it's like a bag for $1 or a couple of cents or something. And so she collected a lot of clothes, and they take the clothes that are just not as nice. It's just like you can basically use as rags, so stuff we wouldn't want anyway. And how much did she raise for us, Carol?
Probably a little over 800.
So when someone just comes in and like does all the work for us, and we have a couple of them throughout the year, it adds up. And we do get a lot of grantors, like the city of Whittier has given to us a couple of thousand every year, and the Internet Foundation has given to us. But it really relies on on people and their generosity and their ideas and their passion to do those personal fundraisers.
Again, it sounds like you guys take donations even if you don't have an event or if they're not
Oh, of
purchasing,
course.
right?
Yes.
So how would they, if somebody's wanted to donate to the organization, how will they reach out to you guys?
they can call, or they can, we can send a check to Post Office Box 9108 in Whittier, California, 90608. Another way is through employee match programs. That's really great because the employer will add to whatever the employee is giving. Or they can come in. Many times people come in and they go, just keep the change, and you'd be surprised how much that adds up.
Yeah.
Or they add to their bill,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to share maybe a hesitation I had for just donating. How do you know if you're donating something, if it's worth donating? Because I almost feel
like if Remo comes in with just like his nickel box.
No, just like clothes or shoes, or at what point is it not donatable versus maybe?
Well, if you would be wearing it today, I would take what you have on. That sounds kind of weird.
Yeah.
No, but I mean,
the night session has started.
Lower the lights. No. No, but I'm just saying, if it's, if you look around, you see what people bring. I'm not saying we never get something that we don't want, but 90% is amazing. I mean, we get jewelry, when people pass away, they've given us whole house full of stuff more than once. We just did part of a house again last week.
Do you guys would go to a home and say, okay, we want these 25 pieces, or the people will just bring you everything? Because I almost feel like if someone dumps everything off, you don't want to say no. At the same time, some of it might not be usable or junk. And where's that fine line where it's like, thank you, but keep all this stuff?
Well, sometimes when they call, I'll tell them I will come by and look and see what you have to see what we can use. And that's key, because sometimes we just don't have room. Mm-hmm. We have 2 garages full, and we have 2 trucks, and one is full because I broke the back door and I can't get things out. So it just depends, But a lot of people, you hate to turn it down because you never know what's coming with it. You don't know.
Right. I
mean, we've received, it happened just at the last meeting, I talked about it. Someone had given a lot of items this year, and he always wrote a check, but then this year there was an envelope from him, and it was over 10 times as much as what he ever wrote before.
Wow.
Who would know? You don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You just don't know.
So to answer your question, anything counts, even $1.
Thanks, Jess.
All right, so we have some questions from the Instagram. This question is from MaryBerry9, and she said, what are some of the moments that make you feel proud of what you do?
Oh, my gosh.
I think just spending time with the girls. I like to host at least once a year a family event. We've had a barbecue. One of my favorite things has definitely been like a cupcake workshop with them, where I taught them how to make it from scratch, how to know when the cake is done, how to make buttercream from scratch, how to pipe it on your own. And they all had so much fun. And it was just so freeing just to be with other women and just enjoy ourselves in a safe home. And it was nothing about worrying about, do we have enough funds? Do we have this? It was just fun. And I like doing those because it just reminds them that you're family all around, and we're your family too.
Yeah. And I think, I do this work from my heart. It always has been. And when I, planned a wedding, I don't have a daughter, so I never had that ability to do that. And to pick out a dress, see the dress for the first time, plan the catering and the invitations, and just do all of that. And I'm having mom wonder feelings and just having a ball. And when it's over, I'm just like, wow, it was so awesome. So it's not me in their life, it's them in my life that blesses me. So whatever we do, it's given right back. And I think, I got really sick, and I didn't know I was having appendicitis, and I thought that only happened to kids, and they're all in the emergency room, and, just to see them there, and I was happy. I was in pain, but I was so happy. There's so many things, or just getting a nice note from them, and just expressing something really personal and nice. It's just so many things.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I have another question from Kiara Ray Designs. And I think this question kind of came up when you guys were talking about human trafficking, but it said, is it true that the biggest day of the year that human trafficking occurs is on Super Bowl Sunday? And I think I heard that at Atlanta, that the Atlanta airport is the biggest airport where human trafficking occurs, actually. If you guys know, if you can speak on that.
I've heard it, and I've, been to events with different probation officers and parole officers that are very involved, and that is what they've all said. Of course, that's pretty much every day in Vegas, though, too.
Interesting. And the last question that we have is from Langdon_Alger_Puzzle_Master. It's Langdon Alger Puzzle Master. He says, what types of items sell the most here at Upscale Collectibles?
Good question.
Wow. I would say clothes and furniture.
Yeah, can't go wrong. Stuff that you need every day.
Or even if you don't need it, you want it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've gotten a couple of things like that.
All right. Thank you guys for sending those questions. Good questions. And now into some somewhat more difficult. Remo likes some difficult. I think they're easy. But.
Well, it depends. If you're local to the area, and you have a few favorite spots, then they're pretty difficult. If you're not from the area, then they're pretty easy. The first question is, if you were to go get a sandwich or to your favorite eatery, what would it be and what would you get?
Ooh, I'm going to go to the Beehive. Beehive, yeah. They have, oh my God, they have names for everything, but it has tuna in it. They have funny names for everything, but I like the tuna melt. They add, and then the cold tuna too. I could talk about this for a while.
It sounds like we need to ask the Beehive for a certain donation on
for your behalf.
Yeah. And I love Crepes and Grapes. It's one of our favorite places, and they're always sponsoring us for whatever we do. But then right across from them, I found Saturday, we had a meeting here, and one of the husbands brought his wife a sandwich, and I'm looking over, and I'm like, where did you get that sandwich? And it's not Lift, but it's
Deli Up.
Lift.
Deli Up. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And
yeah,
Deli Up for
it.
2 years was down Walnut.
Yeah, and I never went.
Yeah, it was. Their bread is delicious. They pick it up every day.
The bread is amazing.
Christine, what episode is it? Like 31?
27.
Oh, you just made that up. I mean,
No, I said 27. They're still in the top 10.
Yeah. Episode 12. We interviewed them, and they talked about getting the bread every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and it is delicious. And I even told my friend yesterday when I was there that I said, oh, this cannot be fattening. Look at all the holes in the bread. It's not fattening at all.
I love that.
It's not.
I would justify it that way, too.
Yeah, of course.
Most bread is dense. This one is just goodness.
True.
Almost
with
negative
holes in it.
calories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're eating air.
That's awesome. The next question is, what's missing here in Whittier?
A drop-in center for the homeless and people in need. I brought it up so many times. I think they're working towards it. I understand. But where you have a representative of all the need places, like maybe Red Cross or Goodwill, Bridge of Faith, the homeless, everybody, so that someone could walk in there and get their needs met. Section 8, for housing. Doctor referrals that have a nurse there or a nurse practitioner that could actually treat somebody. And that's what's so needed. And I don't understand why we take so long to make decisions and get things done. We really need it. There wouldn't be so many people on the streets.
Well, there's no way I can top that.
Yeah.
But I just want more restaurants to be open on Mondays.
That's a struggle.
That's
The Beehive is not open on Monday?
No, I mean, in Uptown.
Oh.
Yeah, sometimes it's just evening and we don't want to cook, and I'm like, let's go out. Like, we can. Oh, we can, but all of our favorite restaurants are closed.
Yeah, it's limited, yeah.
Yeah, but no, to an extent, what Carol said is really spot on. We don't, they're open Tuesday to Sunday, but we don't have a drop-in center.
Yeah.
It would be really useful.
The last question is there a Whittier fond memory that you have, or maybe something is no longer here in Whittier that you would wish would come back?
Quite a few businesses. The bakery That was where Coffee Bean is now. I love that bakery.
One of our guests used to work.
Yeah.
I heard about that. What was so great about? I mean, from your end, what was it that you missed from the bakery?
I'm a frosting person. Delicious. And they used to be in Montebello, so I missed them when I moved to Whittier. And then they came here, and I went in, and when they were closing, I go, "Why are you closing?" She says, "I'm tired." So you got to let them go. But and this the yogurt or ice cream place that was up on Hadley and Greenleaf, we used to sit on the curb and eat our ice cream at 10 o'clock at night.
What place is there now?
Beauty shop or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Long time.
I don't know if I have an answer. I was introduced to Whittier when I started college. That was in 2007. And now I live in Whittier, but I don't know. I think in that time frame, nothing has really gone away that I missed. Actually, I lied. Recently, Bailey Street Kitchen closed, and I was really sad to see that go. We held one of our Christmas dinners with the girls there.
Have you been back to
the Peruvian
the new
place? No, but I've been wanting to.
Yeah.
It's good.
Is it?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sad, but I'm excited to have to.
Actually, I went there. I went in there really hungry, and when I'm hungry, I inhale the food, and it could have been bad, but I thought it was delicious.
I'm gonna believe it's delicious. I'm gonna go try it out.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Best Peruvian place in Uptown Whittier, hands down.
Yes,
All right.
that's good.
Awesome.
Good to know.
So one thing that we want to ask, and we'll get in the show notes, is your physical address here, so people could
Sure.
find you.
7702 Greenleaf, right on the corner of Walnut in Whittier.
And then how do people connect with you online? Through maybe social media or maybe a website?
Yeah, you can find us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page for Bridge of Faith, and then we have a Facebook page for Upscale Collectibles.
And on Instagram as well? Or?
And Instagram, yeah. So on Instagram, we're at Bridge of Faith.
Very cool.
And then your hours here are from...
Tuesday through Friday, 11 to 6, and Saturday, 10 to 4. Unless we're having an event like Quarter Mania, we will be at the Roadhouse Grill.
And then as far as donations, is it open donations, like centers open same time, or is that limited?
Yes, as long as if we're open and you drop off with donations, we'll take them.
Okay.
If you can call ahead, though, we would appreciate it.
We're prepared then, and especially if you need help getting things out of the car.
And what is the phone number to call in?
562-322-5265. It's my cell.
Oh,
You can just
okay.
call. It's easier. No matter where, I can answer a question.
Remo's just trying to get ready for Valentine's. That's what he's asking. He's like, where can I pick up my gift?
I'm really good at, and I hope my wife doesn't listen to this, but
Whoops.
just tell her, let's make dinner at home together, and it's so much easier. And this year we're actually going out of town, so
Oh, wow.
it makes it a little bit easier because I'm sure we're gonna have dinner somewhere that night. So
You don't have to prep, man. Done.
No, yeah, and we're going to Costa Rica.
Oh,
And,
that's
Enjoy.
what a friend of mine wants to do.
Yeah. Well, she won a trip for work, and so we're going with a bunch of her coworkers. We went last year, and I think it's all inclusive, so it's like the best place ever because then I could take her anywhere on the resort for
Well, see,
Yeah,
what
you'll get a reservation for sure.
Remo doesn't know is that they remember him from last year. And so they have a sign that in his picture that they don't let him in anymore.
Well,
You got to watch out for this guy. He eats a whole buffet.
I bring my glasses with the little mustache.
Perfect.
Oh, man. Well, ladies, thank you
so much
for having us.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Too
I
bad
hope-
Remo's not here this weekend, or else I was going to tell him to take me, but maybe you
Take
could
your kids.
just give me your money and we'll go donate it. Again, thank you.
Again.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
both.
Pleasure.
All right, Whittier.
Bye,
Thank
Whittier.
you.